All right, let's take a look at a classic jazz tune, and it's been around for many years, and it's been played by just about everyone. As far as a guitar tune, it works beautifully. It's a little more complex. So we're going to start with an analysis of this tune, and before we jump into the fretboard, I think. Okay, so first of all, we've got five flats. Okay, don't leave now. Yeah, we've got five flats, and I have to admit that there aren't a lot of chord melodies that I've worked on that have five flats. So that puts us in the key of D flat. Okay, so we're in the key of D flat, and the first chord that we have here is an E flat minor, and that E flat minor is the two chord in the key of D flat. Then we have a B flat 7 flat 9, which returns back to the E flat minor. And so it basically just does. Right, it just turns right back around to add some interest rather than just staying on the on the E flat minor, right? And then 7 flat 9. Okay, and then A7, which is the 5 chord of D flat, and then D flat major 7, or 1 chord. And then the G flat 7 is the 4 chord, but a slightly bluesier 4 chord because it's got that flat 7. And it sounds great. And then D, 1 chord D flat, 2 chord E flat minor, 3 chord F minor. And then that E diminished is sort of a chromatic movement down to the 2 chord. And then we have the C minor 7 flat 5 F7, and so that's a 2-5 chord progression leading to the 6 chord. So 2-5 to the 6 chord, and then a 2-5 back to the 1 chord. So let's just recap that. A section, it starts on the 2 chord, and just that 2 chord turns around to its own 5 chord. That would be called a secondary dominant, because that chord is not directly related to the key of D flat, right? And so it's related to the 2 chord. So it's the 5 chord of the 2 chord, let's put it that way. And then the 5 chord of the key, the primary 5, leading to the 1 chord. Then we have a 4-7 chord, which is sort of a bluesier sounding, just a bluesier sounding 4 chord. 3 chord chromatically down with a connecting diminished to the 2 chord. And then the 2-5 chord progression leading to the 6 chord in the key of D flat, and then the 2-5 leading to the 1 chord. Okay, so that is the A section, and then that turns around with the B flat 7 flat 9. Right, and so it just goes back to the first measure that way. Turnaround from B flat 7 to the E flat minor. Okay, second ending, we resolve to the D flat or the 6 or whatever. And then we have a 2-5 in the key of D major, which is really a neat change. So we're in the key of D major, semitone up from D flat, 2-5 D major, and then up to the 2, and D major with a 3 in the bass, and then D major. This is the 4 minor chord of D major, but it begins this cycle that goes 2-5 2. Not 2. I mean 3, right? But it's 3 chord cycle, right? So if we took this from the G, we have G minor, F sharp, minor. All right, so you can hear that cycle. It's just back cycling, going back to the D major 7 chord. And yeah, so it just basically works its way down from the 4 chord of the minor 4 chord of D major, and then down to the 3 chord, down to the 2 chord, and the 2 chord with its related 7, and the B minor here would be the relative minor of D major. Okay, then it does a really cool thing. It goes to the parallel minor, meaning that we're no longer in D major. It does this little trick to the parallel minor, and then lo and behold, we're in C major now. 2-5 in C major, and then does this little chromatic thing in C. And then now all of a sudden you're back in the key of the 2 of D flat, right? That B flat 7 is leading us back to where we were. All right, okay. And then on to the end, and it's all it's like the beginning. All right, A section repeated twice, 32 measure song form, and then that middle section from D major, doing a back cycle back to D major, and then flipping over to the key of C major, which is pretty clear, and then ending up with a little chromatic thing that takes us back to the 2 chord of D flat major. Okay, so that's a quick analysis of body and soul. I find personally that before I get into doing a chord melody arrangement, which I'm going to do in 2 other videos of this one, the first thing I need to know is where the heck everything is, right, and where I'm going, and do a harmonic analysis. And then I think also a very valuable thing to do is just comp through the chords. And that sort of gives you an idea of where everything is, right? That kind of comping. Think of yourself comping a ballad for a horn player or something. So you're comping, and comping being quite considerably different than playing a chord melody. Comping is a whole different thing. So a good place to start is just work your chords up and find out where everything sits in this harmony, in the harmony part, the chords, before you start trying to put them together. Okay, So that's a bit of a brief analysis of body and soul. I don't know how brief that was, but it should give you an idea. That movement from the D flat to the D major is really a killer. And then it's such a clever change from the D major to the D minor, the 2 chord of C, So this is a parallel movement here, just from major to minor, but then all of a sudden you end up a tone down from D major in the key of C major, and then you work your way down another tone to the 2 chord of D flat. Okay, that's it for today, and I hope you come back for the video that I'm going to take this section at a time and put it down on the fretboard and build a little bit of a chord melody. Okay. Thanks for stopping by. If you like this, like and subscribe if it has any meaning to you, and suggestions are always much appreciated. Comments and suggestions are much appreciated. Okay, see you again real soon. Bye.